Hi everybody, welcome back to Unit 1 of QMB2302C. So you finished Unit 0, and we're going to jump into Unit 1. So you're 1/6 done with the whole course. So that's got to feel good. Hopefully you feel good about it. So what I'm going to try to do is timestamp the video so that you know exactly which time to jump to do each item. So we'll start with the PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint is here. You can review it. I'm going to add a link to the actual book right now. So actually now you should see the Unit 2, the Chapter 2 PowerPoints, and a link here to the textbook. And I want you to read Chapter 2. So I renamed it to look a little nicer. So it's textbook up here, slides. Please read the book. Even if it's confusing, underline the parts that are confusing, email me. That's what I'm here for. It's literally the only thing I'm here for is to help you. But you have to read the book. You have to get in there and do some work. Reading the book, go over the slides, and then let's talk about the Unit 1 discussion for the job search here. All right, so I'm going to timestamp this at 1. Okay, for the discussion, Unit 1 discussion, what you want to do is you're going to go to Indeed.com, you're going to do a job search, you're going to type in SQL. So I'm going to do it here for you. Let's do Indeed.com, and let's pick a city like Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so in Atlanta, Georgia, there are, at various skill levels, 600, another 200, another 100, 1,000 or so jobs using SQL. And then to make sure that they're not programming jobs, but actually business analyst jobs, you get rid of, programmer. You do a minus sign programmer, minus sign engineer. You do a search. And there's still about, let's say, 800, 700 jobs there. So this language, which you've probably never heard of, there are almost 1,000 jobs in Atlanta right now in the middle of the largest recession we've ever lived through. So it's pretty impressive. And then if you look for something like a CPA, CPAs, you need years of courses to be a CPA. And let's see how many jobs there are. There are less CPA jobs in Atlanta. So there are people that are doing their entire masters that are going to have a harder time finding a job than you taking one class. So I can't stress enough how important it is for you to study in this class, because you're going to get a degree. I have no doubt about that. You're going to graduate. The college needs you to graduate. What's harder is to get you to want to learn this language. So it's incredibly important. So just you're gonna post a discussion, and your answer, you don't need to. Let me just edit this here. So I just made it that you don't have to respond to anyone else. So if you don't want to discuss how to find a job in the middle of a gigantic recession based on a skill that is incredibly still high in demand, I don't want you in the discussion. I don't want to force it. I want people that are actually interested. So you can get your points and get out of there. But please do that search. That's the discussion. You post. Please try to spell and grammatically correct all that kind of stuff. Make it readable. I have to read 30 or so of these. And then let's move on. We'll move on to the assignment now. Or rather, let's talk about the quiz. And we'll talk about the quiz. So for the quiz, for unit quiz 1, you're going to want to read the chapter 2, and watch this video, because this video we're going to go over everything that's on the quiz. And same for the assignment. The assignment, though, is going to be a little more hands-on. This is the first time you're writing queries. So I'm actually going to take away some of these. So just in keeping with the sense that this is a business class, you really only have 3 questions to answer for your assignment. You're going to write 3 queries. Display a list of all the data in the author table. I'm going to show you how to do that. List the title of all the books in the inventory. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then list the title and publication date. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to show you right now in this class how to do each one of those. And then you're going to do it and send me a screenshot. And then you're going to get your points. So let's go over what's actually on the quiz. Okay. So this is from Chapter 2, Basic SQL Select Statements. And the select is how we get data. So if I said select something, you mean just get it. And you don't have to, this is a little bit crazy. I want to actually show you a query because a lot of this stuff will come back to. I don't want you to get caught up in all that stuff and all the syntax. All right, so you're going to log in to Apex. So pause this video and then log into Apex, and it'll look something like this. It'll look just like this. All right, and so once you log in and you're here, it'll look something like this. You click over here on SQL Workshop. Just click once, and then click here on SQL Commands. Okay, and so this is where we write our queries, and a query just is a question. So the way we write a question is we start with the word select. So you just type select. Doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase. And then you can hit enter and say from books. And books is the name of the table. So books is the name of the table. And then what do we want for books? We want everything from the books. I don't know what about the books I want. I just show me everything we got, right? So I'm not sure what we have. Give me everything. And you would say select star. So the star says what you want, and the from says from what table. So you say select star, which is Shift 8 from books. You hit run, and you'll see your results down here. Here's your ISBN number, title, pub date, pub ID, cost, retail, discount. So what is this? This is what SQL does. It's all it is. You ask a question. There's no for loops and variables and weird things. There's no real programming. It's just English. Select star from books means select everything from the books table. And if you remember, let me go back here. In Unit 0, we have this database diagram. And this database diagram tells us, for our books table, these are the things we know about our books table, right? We know the ISBN, the title, the pub date, the pub ID, the cost, the retail, discount, and category. The ISBN is the primary key. It's the thing that makes each book unique. It's like a social security number for you or student ID. That's what keeps them all unique. So here's where we write our SQL commands, right here. Select star from books is saying, show me everything for books. So if you had a question that said, show everything from another, from, let's say you said, tell me everything about your customers, you could say, select star from customers. I think that's the answer to one of your assignments. And then you run it and you get all the answers there. So if you look at your assignment, it says display a list of all the data contained in the author table. So here's the author table. It has last name and first name. That's all that's in there, but it's called author. So we'd say select star from author. And you run that and you get your author ID, your last name, and your first name. And so that's how this is what this whole language is. Select star from, select something from a table. And this word select is very important. This word from is very important. Those are reserved words. And select means what columns do I want? From means from what table? And if you don't get that, it's okay. If you do get that and you're like, it's so simple, that's great. That's what it's supposed to be. If you don't get it, it's okay. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. So just let it sink in. So let's go back to the slides here. Okay, so the database we're using is called the Justly database. That's the name of it. It's just the business database that came with the book. It's just a fake business. And we don't need the describe command, but describe allows us to see like what's in there, not what's in not the actual data, but the structure of the actual table. So you can say, instead of select star from author, which gives us the data that's in there, we could say describe author, and it'll tell us about the whole table. And it just says, look, there's 3 columns. They're different lengths. You don't have to know about data types. But if you think about it, if you think about the database for Broward College, they have a picture of you. A picture is much bigger than your last name, and your last name is much bigger probably than your student ID, and your student ID is probably smaller than your street address, and your zip code is probably all numbers, and your phone number is mostly numbers, maybe some hyphens depending on what they want to do. So each field has a data type and a length and a precision. You don't really have to know about that because that's going to be set up when you get to work. But describe is how you find out what is actually, what are the structures that your database is made of. So this is the author table, this is about it, that's what describe does. So the select statement is what you just saw. Select star from book, select star from author. And you have to get the table name right. And the table names are in those database diagrams in Unit 0. So your select statements are just how you retrieve data from the database, how you ask a question. If you go to see, maybe you're sick of this class, and you're like, this class is crazy, I hate this class. And you want to see, am I really registered? When you go to the Broward College website and look at your schedule, it is doing a select statement of the Broward College database, and it's saying, select all the information from the student database, but now there's a new word called where the student ID is your student ID. So there's no getting away from databases. It's pretty much running every part of your life. You don't have to know this, but this is, if you knew this is the entire language. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words that you need to memorize and to know what each one does, and that's it. And if you practice this and get good at this, there are jobs. Even now, there's no less data today than there was, and nobody is studying this right now. Computer science people think it's too easy, and business people have never heard of it. So if you're listening to this, you're in a very unique situation where this skill, learning SQL, it can be very important. So the select and the from clauses are required. The select clause identifies which column in the table we're getting. The from clause identifies what table. And each clause starts with a keyword. The keywords are select and from so far. Those are the only 2 words we're using today. You've heard those words, are the only 2 we're using, select and from. Select star from customers gets all the data from the customers. Now we can also change it. Instead of saying select star, we can change it and say, look, if we do select star from books, see how it's lowercase, doesn't matter, all in one line doesn't matter. You have to have some space between the select and the star. But let's say this is too much. I don't care about all these things. I just want to see the cost of the books. So instead of the star, you get rid of the star and put cost. Select cost from books. And then you just have the cost column. If you're not sure what columns there are, just do another select star from books. If you're not sure what tables there are, you go back to Unit 0, and there's database diagrams. These are all the tables we have. So if you're not sure what table has the orders information, it's called orders. In other databases at work, you won't know what it's called. So it might be called bookings if it's an airline or something like that. So when you get to your job, you have to look up what table names there are. You can also select multiple columns. So you can say select title and pub date from books, and that'll get both of those columns back. You separate them with a comma. So you want to try that also. So I'm going to stop here, and the next video will be the last video for Unit 1. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And good luck. Take care.